Welcome to the Run Radio podcast. I'm Trina Wilcox. This segment, our guest is Christina Carlson. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Glad to have you. You've got quite a lot of stuff going on in your life. You're working on yourself to be a better person, and you coach others on their life journey. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I call myself a self-relationship coach because I primarily work with people to support them to heal their relationship with themselves. It's been my experience that most people tend to have gotten disconnected from their bodies and from their intuition throughout the course of life. So my work is really to support people to reconnect to that intuition and sense of self, treating themselves in a new way. Not a new way, but getting back to their roots, essentially.
It seems like we've never really been taught to feed into ourselves first so we can take care of our relationships around us. Why do you feel that is?
I mean, I don't know how deep you want me to go. I think it's rooted in white supremacy, but but like on like a general level, it doesn't serve corporations and like productivity in like the productivity first sense to take a lot of care of ourselves. It does ultimately, but it's not a short-term way of operating. So honestly, we're taught a lot of this mind over matter and productivity first and then pleasure, and like this way of operating that kind of serves a system that is in place already. So I think we're born with a natural connection to ourselves and a natural like way of being that we're kind of trained out of in order to exist in the society that we do.
So you help people train that back in or reconnect with it.
Yeah, and like I really think of it like a relationship, like and dating and like opening up, right? Like no one person is going to have the same access point. Like if you've been through a hard breakup or you were in an abusive relationship and then you're trying to like open up to a relationship, like your way in might be humor. It might not be like seriousness, or it could be a serious conversation. It just depends on who you are, where you have access to actually starting that work.
So where in your life did you realize you needed to connect back to your roots, or has that been something that's always natural and innate for you?
No, it's I would say like it wasn't a point where I was like, oh, I'm disconnected from my body. Looking back, it was this journey of like doing that and gaining access to that looking back, I was like, oh, that's what was happening. So I was raised in a really strict dogmatic religious upbringing, and I was taught that like really bad things came from my physical body, and that I couldn't trust my intuition or my heart, or like that those things were actually dangerous for me. So there was a really intentional disconnection in this case. And what happened actually was when I was working at a college after I graduated, I started taking a hula class, and I really fell in love with it because it was like I could feel my body moving for the first time in my life. And so for me, is like that access point was through pleasure. And from there, it kind of became this realization of, oh, there's more happening within me that has an opinion on life.
Yeah. Yeah. And where did you feel comfortable sharing that with other people, that you felt strong enough to go ahead and guide others through that?
Oh yeah, much later. It was in 2020, right before the pandemic, that I decided that I wanted to do life coaching, because I realized that my favorite thing in life was always just to be with people in spaces of difficulty and sit in those moments with them. It like my sister was the one who pointed it out to me. She's like, this is kind of what you do. Is this a job? And I was like, oh, I think that that's a job.
Yeah, I kind of feel myself sometimes defending, and I think that's okay, life coaching, because it's not to replace a therapist. It's in addition to, it's just like you have so many other things that you need help with in our lives. I don't think there's any reason to make that a second rate piece of help.
Oh yeah, appreciate that. It is different, and I'm pretty clear about my parameters and my scope of practice, as it's
Yeah.
called, like what I'm not trained to do, and so therefore I don't feel comfortable doing. I personally have a therapist and coaches because it's different kinds of support for me. I have a therapist for past trauma and that kind of processing. Um, but I do think the coaching industry is interesting. It has this freedom because there's not as many regulations on it. And in this, because of that, which is a really beneficial thing, is also has its downside, which is that a lot of people are like calling themselves life coaches and don't have the skills. And I'm not going to say official training because, that might be colonialistic, but like don't actually have the skills to hold space for people and are just doing it and calling it something,
Yeah.
so there is that. I feel like there's a lot of discernment that is needed when you're like looking for someone to support you.
When someone is looking for someone, what should they be looking for?
Ooh, yeah. Okay, so I like to compare this to like the same parameters I'd use if I was stepping into a community to tell if it's a cult or not.
Okay.
Are they telling you what to do based on what worked for them?
Oh, that's
Um,
excellent advice.
because everyone is different, and for a person to say this works for me, here's an option for you, maybe try it, is different than here's my formula because this is what worked for me. So
Yeah.
if a coach is saying like here's the formula for your healing, like tell them to fuck off because that's not you.
Yeah.
You whatever your healing needs to be infused with your special flavor and magic. And that can't happen if someone is stepping into your space and stomping all over your sovereignty and being like taking over your life, which at the very start is really tempting because of course we're just like someone fix me, right?
Yeah, right. Right.
So it might feel uncomfortable to be with someone who's not going to tell you what to do, but that more often than not is going to be the thing that is a marker of a green flag.
And it's okay to say, hey, we're not vibing and move on to, I mean, you've got to be upfront with
Yes.
yourself. If it doesn't feel great, quit going back and not feeling great. You're wasting
Yes.
valuable, precious time that you could be connecting with the right person that is helping you move forward.
Yes, and it's like it is a relationship. So it's like
Yeah.
if this person is a good person and you simply don't like them or you don't feel like you can open up, they're also not a good fit for you.
Yeah, yeah, and I want people to understand that's okay. In fact, it's their job not to take it personal, and if they do, that's one more reason they're probably not a great fit.
Exactly.
So tell me about, I mean, not divulging personal information, but like some of the success stories of your clients and what it's been like for you and to watch them thrive.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing to see. Like I I love to watch my clients take like really big steps for themselves or really small steps. My favorite are the small steps that they
Mhm.
might not even realize that they've been taking. And we'll be working on something like self-compassion that's been infused in our conversations for like 4 sessions. And then at session 5, they come and say that something happened and the way they responded was not in shame. And I'm just like, I want to cry. I'm so
Yeah.
happy because that is going to stick with you for much longer. That is real healing it just has exponential growth in their life way beyond what we're doing now. I've seen a lot of like really amazing things happen just from holding space. Like my clients are the ones really doing the work, right?
Yeah.
But like so often the people that I work with end up changing careers. Quitting jobs often happens when I'm working with people. I'm not typically coaching on career. It's
Right.
just that they realize it's not a great dynamic or they're not being treated well or whatever it is and go on to do something that they're really deeply passionate about. And it's really beautiful to see.
So tell me some of the other things that you have going on right now and that you are doing to support the community and connection.
Yeah. I don't currently have like, I'm not running a community, but per se, but I do, I am running a redefining relationship one-on-one series is what I call it. And that's 6 sessions over 12 weeks. And that's really supporting people in the same things I was mentioning, which is just like reconnecting to your intuition and reconnecting to yourself so that you're able to make decisions without that decision freeze. And even if it's like it ends up not being a great decision, it's something you can flow with. Really, it's about becoming a safe space for yourself when you're doing life. And we'll set goals around a lot of different things, but it always comes back to that at the root. So that's the main thing that I'm working on right now. My favorite thing for extracurricular, I guess you could call it, is being interviewed on podcasts. So
Oh, cool.
doing
Good.
things like this.
Good.
My goal is 60 this year, and I've been in 27 so far this year.
Excellent. That's very cool. What would be a tip that you would offer anyone that's trying to connect with themselves, but they feel like they're failing at it and they're just not, they just can't connect with that place in their heart?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, first of all, you're not alone. It's after, it's like because it's a relationship, if it's something that for whatever reason, due to trauma, something that's happened to you, that you haven't been in contact with your body, it's for good reason. So the first thing I would say is like offer yourself deep compassion for that, because you yourself are and always have been doing your best. So if this is difficult, it's difficult for really, sorry, I forgot to ask if I can cuss. A really good reason. And then the second thing is I would say try to find a neutral space in your physical body. So if it's your ears or your upper arms, like my upper arms have always felt like safe to me, and felt neutral, like a place that doesn't have a lot of charge, or like, like your stomach can feel really like sensitive, and like your face can feel sensitive, but sometimes our feet feel like they feel neutral of emotion. Find a space that's neutral of emotion and nurture it. Spend time like with that space. Like for me, this looks like massaging my feet, or for you, it could look different, but kind of leaning into and expanding that space and connecting with the space of you that you have access to right now. Like I was mentioning earlier, it's like about finding a way in that feels good for both you and your body, and not forcing that relationship. It's kind of like an emo teenager. Like if you don't want to like be like, hi, we need to be friends, right? It's too much. But if you like, maybe they're sitting at the kitchen counter and you come sit at the kitchen counter, not too close, but you do your own thing and they're doing their own thing. You're just like creating this, like, can we be a little bit closer?
Yeah.
And slowly like maybe say something every once in a while. But it's really about like kind of respecting your body's experience of that, and then finding a way in that feels like non-alarming to your system.
What about journaling? Do you do that? Do you recommend it?
I love journaling. I've actually been journaling since I was 7 years old. Is my first journal. I have it up in my attic.
Neat.
Yeah. So I do. I mean, I recommend it to people who enjoy it. I think that people process things differently. So a lot of my clients, and myself included, will process things audibly in a different way. So audio notes are great for that. For someone who tends to intellectualize self-help and self-care, I would suggest or encourage something more physical, like slow physical movement, like self-massage or yoga, or like a slow walk. Because if our tendency is to over-intellectualize, journaling can just perpetuate staying in our head instead of allowing the rest of our physical experience to have a say in what's going on.
Interesting. So let's see, what is something physical you enjoy doing to make sure that your mind and body are connected and getting, doing the best for yourself whole health wise?
Yeah, this has been yoga for me for the
Okay.
past few years. I always do like the slowest forms of yoga. Like I'm looking down the list. I have Peloton. So I don't do the bike. I just do the yoga classes. But I'm like slow morning flow. It doesn't matter what time of day
Yeah.
it is for me. I'm going for the slow because for me it's like that slowing down and like feeling myself breathe in those movements is really supportive. And then lately for fun, I've been roller skating and it's been fabulous.
Man, I still have never mastered that. I want to, and every time I get even close to standing on the dumb things, I just don't do it for a long time. But that
It's
is great. It's good exercise.
it feels like you're flying, which
Yeah.
it is like it takes a lot of balance, but I do love the feeling of wheels. So my plan is eventually to get a recumbent bicycle, like the kind that
Yes.
you like sit in or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be really like that would feel like so casual and fun without like
Yes.
being so serious, I guess.
Yes. I get it. I get it. How do you feel that as our society here in the US, how do you think we are doing with the shift in mental health?
Like if I'm the evaluator of the nation as a whole.
Mm, sure. In your
Okay.
opinion, I feel like we have shined a light on it in the past couple of years, of course, but how do you feel? Do you feel like it's shifted that much for the better, or do we still have a lot of work to do?
I'm gonna say both. Like
Okay.
I'm really proud of people opening up about mental health.
Mhm.
It's like a lot of things. Like I'm so proud that people are like saying who they are and saying what's going on with them because that in that way we have done incredible work. Just creating less stigma around it is something that I feel like we've made a lot of progress in. Um, and so I'm really, really thankful for that, for the brave people who are like, and this goes for like this goes for every group. It's like the queer community. It's like the people who go first. There needs to be this like, hey, we're here. And then there's like everything else has to catch up.
Yeah.
And I feel like with mental health, we're like things are trying to catch up. I think that there's a lot of things mixed up in it. I think our access to mental health care really needs some work. Because although people are aware of the need for it, it's often not covered by insurance. It's often not covered by employers. It's often hard to access or hard to find the right source of help that's actually for you. Like there are still a lot of barriers around that that needs a lot of work. And I also think that like we were talking about earlier with coaches, I feel like some coaches are capitalizing on the the concept without actually offering value. And I don't think like, I mean, I always choose to see the best in people. I don't think people are
Yeah.
doing that on purpose, but
Yeah.
I think I really think that mental health needs to be something that's like food.
Yes.
Like it's just something that we
Yes.
all have and all
Yeah.
need, and access to those things needs to be that accessible and that relevant, or not relevant but apparent in everyone's circle.
Do you have any tips for people that have finally realized they do need help, but they don't have much access? It's very limited for them.
I feel like that would be an excellent question for a social worker, depending on where you're at. I would recommend like uh researching on Psychology Today, because they do have people who are just starting out who are qualified, that have pretty reasonable rates. And also like I feel like it's really important to stress like reaching out to coaches and asking if there's scholarships, because a lot of coaches, especially the coaches that I graduated with from Beautiful You Coaching Academy, a lot of them offer like a couple clients a year to just pro bono. It's a thing that like that if we don't ask, we don't know.
Yeah.
And so I would recommend just asking, like be open to a no, but like keep asking.
Yeah. Very good. Yes, I love it. Anything else you want to share before we close?
Oh, yeah. I guess I just want to say like if you're struggling, like again, you're not alone. And I really think it's crucial to note that you're good as you are right now. Like you don't actually need fixing. There's nothing broken about you. It's really what's happened to you and operating within that framework and then just finding new ways of operating. So my suggestion is like to kind of lean into that kind of thinking and see where that takes you when you're looking for support.
Good advice. Where can folks go to learn more about you and connect with you?
ChristinaMCarlson.com and at Christina Carlson Life Coach on Instagram.
All right. Thank you so much. I've loved this chat. Please come back when you've got more to share. I feel like you might have a book in you or something someday. So
Oh, I'm working on it.
awesome. Come back anytime.
Thank you.
Thanks.